I am very delighted and excited to welcome you to our program today. Don't forget to subscribe just before you go ahead to watch the videos. Like the video, then ensure that you share it. Don't forget that I love you. Thank you for staying with us. Thank you for watching our videos. God bless you. Thank you. Thank you for watching. I am live in Ilorin to speak with one of our very own, Mr. Dapo Olorunyomi, who is the publisher of Premium Times. He is an unsung Okun hero. Shortly, we'll be talking to him. Thank you and stay with us. I am here with our daddy, Mr. Dapo Olorunyomi, one of the very best of our own in Okunland. He is the publisher of Premium Times. Don't mind what we are going to do. We are going to speak in English for the purpose of those people that are not of Okun origin, who may not understand Okun language. Permit me and our daddy to do this interview in English. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you, Ola, and I appreciate this great and extremely wonderful opportunity. Thank you for the work you do.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
thank you, sir. Tell the people who you are.
Okay, so my name is Dapo Olorunyomi from Okunland, that's in Okun. My mother is from Kapa. So
Interesting.
I believe that we're from the quarters now. So yes, and my grandfather James, the Reverend James Olorunyomi, was part of the efforts to bring the Baptist church as a movement to Okun. He left with his own father, I believe, 1900 from Mondo, and came down and helped to proselytize effectively in the whole corners of Okun to the University of the Baptist Church. So my own father worked first in the army, so he fought in the Second World War. He was on the Indian bomber campaigns. And returned, of course, joined the Northern Public Service.
I cannot see where you got your confidence from. Oh, my father was a soldier.
So that's really the history. In a very bullet sense, I have 6 siblings, one elder brother. Is a lawyer, retired.
Okay.
In Lokoja. My most elder sister, she's retired. She's in Abuja with her daughter. I have a junior sister who's also retired in the service of the federal government as a nursing matron. She's married to, I believe, all those states. So she's also doing all those motherly roles between her kids who are here and abroad. And she lives in Ilorin.
Okay.
The junior is a professor of faculty studies in Ibadan, and the younger one who read accountancy but is doing more of interested photography, cinematography.
Okay.
3 sons, and one is in the U.S. Army, U.S. Navy.
Wow.
Yeah. Another is a communication person in film studies. The last one is in music studies.
That's interesting.
This is a very rough journey.
This is interesting. This is just like what an Okun person looks like. God bless you. Thank you. Brother Dapo, as I will say, what will you say about identity crisis of Okun people? Some people feel that the Yoruba don't even believe that we are one of them. Some of them And then our neighbors also don't even know that we're Yorubas. And then when we try to tell them that we're Yorubas, they feel that we are not Yorubas. So what is your take on identity crisis of Okun people?
Well, it's part due to history, it's also part due to politics, but identity affirmation and reconstruction is always an ongoing process. So, for which I would think the kind of effort you're doing through the Renaissance, the TV Renaissance, Open TV Renaissance, is really an important and very salutary
Thank you, sir.
input.
Thank you, sir.
But history is something. What people want to make out of it is another. Yoruba history, authentically, this is been established by the most authentic, and I urge people to go and read Akin Ogundiran's very seminal work.
Wow.
Yeah.
Akin Ogundiran.
Akin Ogundiran is a professor of archaeology and history and African studies, currently at the university, I believe in Chapel Hill, that's in North Carolina, in the US. But what Atkins work has demonstrated is to show the migration pattern that grew out of the lower Niger Benue trough and moved on to the establishment of the first kingdom or empire, which was Ife. The brilliance and genius of Ife was that it helped to sediment all the tributaries of what Aki calls the, if you like, little congregations of communities, which he calls the community of practice of yoga, both in terms of culture and identity, the way he put it. Everybody then funneled down to Ife, where it became first sedentary, became first settled. The brilliance and genius of Ife, which we all have to learn very well, is that it was at Ife that the first, civilization in that sense of settlement was took place, where a sense of a philosophy and technology and knowledge creation, because of the epistemology, of the full Yoruba realization first emerged. And when Ife became, atrophied as a civilization, dissipated, the second Yoruba civilization in terms of empire building became Oyo. And when Oyo also got into decay, was the rise of Ibadan. Unfortunately, Ibadan could not consummate the third empire of Yoruba people, because that's also, if historically, it's considered with the arrival of the British, and then that settled the so-called, Yoruba wars. So anyway, so there's really no identity crisis if people understand history. What unites the whole a nation can have its people, its tributaries in every formation. When you talk of Jewish people, everybody understands that although there's a Jewish homeland there, but you have Jews in Argentina, in even in Iran, in Germany, in England, in France, everywhere in the world, when you talk of Armenians, so there are many reasons why, nations, get into dispersal, war may be one, persecution may be the other, things like, and politics can help cement all these things when people can then box you into one section and the other in another section. Natural disasters can come if there's a volcanic eruption or the kind of crazy floods happening now in Kogi State. People migrate and then go. You can't settle here again and go somewhere else. They may leave, and all their people live in Ghana. So today there are about probably 7 countries globally where Yoruba civilization and culture thrives. And you can't say they are not Yoruba just because they are. So geography is not necessarily the definition. of nations and identity of people.
Quite very correct.
But we understand why this is so. So it's education, and this is one of the important things I think you are doing.
Thank you, sir. Yeah. Now it looks like there is what I call a dichotomy between culture and education about the true origin of the Okun people vis-a-vis the true origin of the Yorubas. Culturally, it is believed that it is a Ife. And from what we have had from the latest book, run now by Akin Okunland, it tells us that the book tells us that the present Okunland is actually the cradle the cradle of Yoruba land.
Indeed.
Then, how do we marry that? Don't you think that, or how do we marry that? How do we get the other people who believe so much in the cultural aspect to believe what Antasaswa said, that what Akin Okunland said is actually the real thing? Because I think that before he came up with that, he must definitely have some good information backed up with scientific evidences.
Well, yes. Okay, so Ife is generally accepted as the origin of Yorubas, and there should be no dispute about that. So Ife became the first, sedentary, established, the efflorescence of Yoruba civilization and culture. But people didn't just drop from the sky to Ife, they came from somewhere. So, and that's the point that I think Gondiron is making, and he's making it with material history. The most authentic form of historical validation is archaeology. And before I can, don't forget that, in fact, an Okun scholar, Adeoba, made the great historian himself.
From Ife.
From Ife Jumu, yes.
May his soul rest in peace.
Yeah, he died too young, sadly. Had made this claim. I believe Professor Afonja also made a little bit of that claim himself.
Professor Afonja, you said?
Yes, I think he made a little point around that.
What idea by said?
Yes, you have to clear that. I'm not very sure of this last point I made, but I think my own reading maybe. But you see, the important thing is that not to focus on that, because that's not the issue. Yeah. What's important is that Yoruba culture is flourishing in many parts of the world.
Beyond the shore of Nigeria?
Yes, beyond the shores of Nigeria, yes. There's a small part of it, the Creoles, who are, of course, in Sierra Leone. There's a part of it which is in Benin Republic, as you know. There's a part of it which is in the Gambia today, in the Akus. And then, of course, in bigger proportion, you have this cultural representation in places like Cuba, you have it in Brazil, in larger number. Trinidad and Tobago, yeah, that's true. So the question then is not whether you are a true Yoruba or you're not a true Yoruba. It's whether you then call someone who's a Germanic Jew more authentic than an American Jew, or because one someone. So that is not the issue. I know people, in part out of ignorance, also like to make that the issue. What's important is, the people who call themselves and understand themselves to be the Okun people, who are spread out in 7, Nigerian communities, as homelands. Get to organize themselves in a way that is really humane, democratic, livable, that they're able to, to enrich their own culture and traditions, ensure that, they can give a better life to themselves and actually relate better with their neighbors. This should be the focus of the aspiration, Everything will come. Education will help resolve all that. And there's no need to get into needless quarrel and disputation about it. It happens every time in cultures and history, The more ignorant people who are looking for puristic representation of culture will become quite fundamentalist about that. Get their neighbors killed and people killed. That's totally hopeless. That's needless. Uh, Important that even if you have an open land, will it be livable for the open people? So the content of that open land in terms of the culture itself, how to make it humane, how to make it democratic, how to make it modern should be the focus. Just in the same sense of the larger Yoruba nationality or nation, if you then call it Yoruba, you may want a Yoruba nation, but what kind of nation? You don't want a Yoruba nation that is autocratic, that is really abusive of its own people and of its neighbors. No. So you really want, in the same sense that within the Nigerian nation state, which has this whole combination of nations and nationalities and ethnicities, how you are able to give it a content that's far more humane and far more, I keep using the word democratic and modern, not to confuse it with Western, talk of where leadership understands accountability and transparency. These are really modern values of how to build better society. You know that you have to invest for the future generation. Now you must ensure that people have good health, good, you can eat well, how to build democratic, communities in every representation of it, that should be the goal. So the case of Okunland makes itself, and historical interpretation and reinterpretation will continue depending on the balance of power. It's really a power relation issue, but let's waste time on that. History, knowledge, and education will take care of that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Just 1 minute. So, end there with one. Out of the country, will you support the move to shift the Yoruba-speaking people of Kogi State back to the western part of the country?
Well, the way I answer that question really is to say that if you have a Nigerian nation state which is made up and represented by all this number of people, what do we want to make out of a Yoruba community that has emerged out of this? If the majority of the people think that is what they want, I just don't want a small committee hiding somewhere and then box people around as they want. If there's a genuine desire by people, to join kids and kill, that's absolutely okay by me. I think so. What is the popular choice of people should be? That's the part. I'm more interested also that whatever community that emerges must be a democratic community, must be a community that is humane, must be a community that respects its people. It cannot be one where leadership will trample. There must be a great sense of accountability and a great sense of transparent leadership and followership. There must be a true definition of citizenship. So if all that is the case, so let it be.
Thank you, sir. Lastly, what will you tell your Okun brothers? What is your advice for your Okun brothers, especially the young ones?
I think that the challenges of history today is one of knowledge and hard work. And my hope is that the younger Okun people will funnel themselves in the direction of greater achievement. The first generation, the generation that I met, 60 plus, and they were really highly achieved, in terms of their place in. People tend to have gone, and this is always true with cultures that find themselves within the margins of bigger power. They get to do more educational work, religious work, clerical work, but there's a need to then own up to those areas of knowledge that expands the limits of the possibilities of building good and better society, to become competent in finance, more competent and well established in politics or policy, to drive greater agenda in technology, so that you can use the fruits of technology to drive every other thing, from healthcare to education to your business and things like that. Yeah. So my advice is really that younger Okun folks um, get to enjoy the best processes, from being leaders in music, leaders in fashion, leaders in the media, leaders in pageantry, leaders in science, leaders from space science to engineering to all the ramifications of life. Yes, this is the time to conquer the next century. Yeah.
Thank you so much, our daddy, Mr. Dapo Olorunyomi. It's indeed an opportunity then to have this time with you. God bless you, sir.
Thank you very much. It's an honor. Thank you, sir. I really
Appreciate it. That was Mr. Dapo Olorunyomi, the publisher of Premium Times. He is from Ayibolebede. Thank you, and God bless you.